main reason for Te Awa Kōrero was learning the rules of engagement with our awa. We know the full stretch of the Waikato Awa is Waikato. Before that it had different names, different areas, and we had different hapu living along the awa, and it's just become a generic name that it's the Waikato Awa. We've learned over the week that there has been a number of names for the awa. It was for us to learn, where our people lived and kind of what they inhabited and their way of living. The wānanga itself, like the kaupapa, the tomb was set at Aotearoa Marae. Prior to Aotearoa Marae, anybody that hadn't been to Aotearoa Marae, so all our waiwai tapu had to stop at Tukuhaere, do a uru whenua at Tukuhaere, and then they were able to come up to Aotearoa Marae. They were pōwhiri onto the marae. We spent a night there. Next morning we're up. Everybody was bussed down to the Waipapa boat ramp. Everybody paddled from Waipapa up to Hopeoni, as we know it is now. Today it's actually called the Arohina Campground. I
always love to attend wānanga that Raukawa delivers to strengthen my reo ona tikanga and also strengthen my knowledge of Raukawa. No expectations, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was interested to see how it was going to work, but I suppose one expectation is that my reo would be strengthened.
So we spent the night at Hopeoni, had ahi kōmu. Next morning we got up, we paddled down to Whātākai.
I'd never experienced paddling on my own awa, and I'd heard of all the pā along the awa, he piko, he taniwha, he piko, he taniwha, but my knowledge of those is, almost non-existent. So, it was important to hear that, and I also love that kōrero tuku iho. It surprises me that there's so many pā. Although, for years I've known he piko, he taniwha, he piko, he taniwha, but, just to actually say, right, there's one, there's another, there's another, there's another, it's like, and learning about how they worked together, interconnected relationship to notify everyone what was going on. It's amazing.
We had a night at Whātākai. We did the same there. We had a pōwhiri, so the haukainga there, done the pōwhiri there. Haukainga at Hopeoni was whānau from Wharepuhunga. Then we had a night there, done the same thing. Had a kai, had a wānanga.
Something that surprised me last night during wānanga was my own ability, because of the kaiako, to really learn the karakia that we've been learning, and her just pushing me that little bit more and having awhi to be able to learn that karakia.
We can sit in a classroom all day and talk about a place for a whole day, for a whole week, for a whole year. Getting out and seeing it and living it is, you remember those things.
To be out there and smell all the smells and to feel all the feels and to see all the sights. It's more real and so more likely to have impact.
You're actually absorbing it through all of your tinana, your wairua, so that's why the learning is so different. It's amazing.
After sleeping there the night, we ended up paddling back from Whātākai back to Hopeoni with a stop in between, where everybody went up to a pā, puke tōtara.
My favourite activity has actually been in the waka. I used to do waka ama, but it's been over 20 years since I've been in the waka, and just being back in the waka has reminded me how much I enjoyed actually doing waka ama. What I have learned about the awa have been the wahi tapu, and along the awa and the different pā sites and how it connects to Raukawa, which is my tupuna, and my iwi. So that's been amazing learning. And I think I already have a high consciousness of our Taiao, but even more so embedding, appreciating our Taiao more and just really connecting with it and strengthening that connection.
While we were paddling, I'm not sure if it was just tired or that I was just in the zone, but I felt that I was just paddling and listening to Tai Hakua, Taki, Raukawa, and things were just flowing along, and it was almost as if I felt like I was asleep, but I was still paddling and still, doing what I needed to be doing. But I don't know, I think it felt like a state of meditation almost.
Being our first Te Awa Kōrero that we've run, there was no framework for us to actually, kind of go off. There wasn't a template of what to do. So we've had many challenges, man. We've had a skipper to show up to the boat ramp with no boat. We've had our staff jump in cars and take off like they've gone to do jobs and they've taken the keys to another car that was needed. We've had trying to find waka to make this kaupapa happen we found challenging. I suppose in the end it was trying to bring everything together was the reconnection to our Māori.
I've made new friendships and connections. I've strengthened some connections from people that I have met in previous kaupapa and strengthened relationships with my colleagues, that we don't always get to mahi together because they're in a different group, so that's been awesome.
The whenaungatanga that I have with people from other pā, rather than just my little patch over there in Whare Puhunga is definitely growing, and I know that those people they're the ones that attend these hui are the ahika, they're the home crowd. So it's good to know that when I go to Ruapeka, I'll know these people. When I go to Mokai,
it has changed me. So it's changed my wairua, just being connected with the awa and whakawhanaungatanga, absolutely. And those relationships will change how I travel in the world in the future.
What we do in our lives, our daily lives, is it affects our Taiao. So, if nothing else, if we feel a sense of belonging to the awa, we feel a sense of responsibility to the awa.
It's a different way of learning, but actually having our rangatahi in the environment will give them better alertness to the environment. So then they're really conscious of what they do every day and how that impacts on the environment, which is so important.
For me, it was the reconnection with my reo. Grew up pretty much all throughout my schooling in Australia, so I lost a lot of my te reo. Getting to know my cousins that I couldn't get to know was one of the biggest connections that I was able to find, and also just finding those connections on who whakapapas to my senari that I didn't realise.
My hopes would be that this will kind of make people just want to go out and do it, not wait for a wānanga to be set. We can actually come out here as a whānau and just experience this stuff. I mean, we're not going to have all the kōrero to do it, or we're not going to have all the tohunga in certain areas to do it, but a step forward is better than sitting stagnant and doing nothing about it.
In our histories there's so much kōrero, and it's all related to the awa and the moana and waka. Everything is just expanded my understanding and opened my eyes to lots of things, language related and history related and tikanga related.
I would take home resilience is a big part of being Māori, being able to expand your knowledge and just taking what you can.
I would encourage everyone to participate in the wānanga and to take the opportunity for the full experience of what the wānanga offers. Stay for the full time, camp, whakawhanaungatanga, be on the awa, do all of the activities that have been provided here, and the other big thing has been a break from the outside world. And try not to use your phone or try not to engage in that and just be fully present.